Your kids just want to make you proud. Depending on how old you are, depending on how old your kids are, this may not seem like a true statement. But when you look at children and how they interact with you and how much they look up to you, how they communicate with you, you can see clearly that they just want to make you proud. They want to share in their enjoyment of things, and they want to show you what they're capable of. An obvious example is the fact that, particularly through their earlier years, is that life's a show and tell completely. It's check out how I can cartwheel, Dad. Check out how much I can eat. Like everything is showing you what they can do. Hey, check this out. Hey, check out how I wrote this, everything. And it's really lovely that they want to share that with you, that they want that connection with you. They want you to be proud of them. They want you to enjoy what they're doing. Now, obviously, this changes over time, and it depends on the kid, and it depends on the family dynamic. I get that. At the moment, my kids are 10 and under. So this is still a very real thing for me on a larger scale for most of the time. But I understand that when it comes teens and so on, it may not be as prevalent. It may not be as front of mind for them. It might be something that they still do, but not necessarily to the degree that they did when they were younger. I get that. I understand that. But there is still a part of them that just want to make you proud as their mum or dad, that they just want you to cheer them on, to enjoy what they're enjoying, to be with them as they do something. And it can be anything. It can be a cartwheel. It can be a project that they're working on. It can be anything. They just want to see that you see them, that you know them, that you see what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and that they're doing their best. And ideally enjoy it, ideally. Now, I recorded this episode months ago, but my sound was whack. It was this echoey craziness. So I've re-recorded it, and I don't have the patience at the moment to go back through this echoey, crazy episode and kind of see the points that I've come out with. So I'm just going to go with what I have. But I do remember why I first recorded the episode, and that was something that happened at the start of the year. Seems like a small detail, but it kind of highlights the importance of kids just want to make you happy, and there's dynamics there that we really need to be aware of. We were sitting down to dinner one night, and we had some homemade lasagna and my nonna's salad. And it's a great combo, by the way. It's fantastic. So Oscar's eating it, and he ate it all. I'm trying to remember the exact words, but it was along the lines of, Dad, I ate my lasagna and salad to make you happy. And I looked at him a little bit confused, because in the past, I've said to him, and what I've said to the kids is, with their food and things like that, is that they have to try everything. That's just what dinner is. And you don't have to love it. You don't have to even like it. It doesn't have to be your favorite in order for you to eat it, but that's what we have. But I do always encourage trying, and I do always encourage the fact that they've eaten it, even if it's not their favorite, etc. But I clarified with Oscar that I appreciate the fact that he's eaten his food, but he's not to eat his food to make me happy. I don't often get happy when people eat lasagna and salad, for example. It's not one of my love languages, is lasagna and salad, although it is awesome. I did encourage him that great job for eating your food, great job for doing it even though it's not your favorite. That's awesome. But you don't have to do that for me. You don't have to do any of that for me. It's something that's just feeding your body. It's something that's good for you, and it's something that I guess you ideally enjoy. But it's not something that he has to do to make me happy. And I talked to him about it because I thought that was an odd thing to bring up, was that, hey, I'm doing this to make you happy. Because that's not really a way that I communicate, is do this if you want Dad to be happy. And when I clarified with him, he said along the lines of that he wanted to show me that he'd eaten it even though it wasn't his favorite. I'm like, oh, I get that. That's fine. Great job. That's awesome. Again, the kind of, hey, I did this thing because you said it was important. I did it. But that gave me the idea for the episode, because sometimes kids do things purely for their parents' approval. They just want to make you happy. And that is a dynamic that definitely comes up, is that some kids grow up and they still act like that. They're still doing a career that their mum and dad said, that's what you should do. That's the path forward for you. And they've compromised themselves to make their parents happy. But it's that sort of thing where That's a dynamic that can go throughout their life if it's not checked, if it's not put into perspective, if it's not understood for themselves, and that life's about your own happiness as well. The responsibility of this as a parent is that you can't abuse that. You can't abuse that desire that the kid has to make you proud, to make you happy in that particular way for getting them to do things or for your own gain or anything like that. And I know that most parents would not do this intentionally, but I understand that some parents would, and some parents use it as a tool. It can be a thing that's used as a mechanism or a tool to get them to do something. That'll make daddy happy if you do this. That'll make mummy happy. You don't want to make mum and dad sad. And then in doing that, you're throwing the responsibility of your happiness or your family's happiness onto the child. 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, whoever. If you do that, you're saying that your love is works-based. If they do this work, if they abide, if they listen, if they do these things, you love them, you accept them, you enjoy them. But then the counter to that is it's also teaching them if they don't do that, then their love is withdrawn, that your acceptance is withdrawn, that your enjoyment is withdrawn. And that's a hell of a responsibility for a kid. That's way too much. And again, I don't think it's necessarily meant like that for 9 out of 10 parents. I understand the 10% or the 5%, maybe it is, but it's so important that we don't abuse that desire of connection that the kid has to just get things done or just to get our way or anything like that. It's so important. You have the responsibility to not let that happen, to teach them the dynamics of relationships moving forward for when they have kids, for when they have a family, for when they have a partner, that it's not going to be a works-based relationship, that it's like, do this and you have my acceptance and my love. That's not it. We can't do that. So it's important that we don't show them that we're not teaching that. The other dynamic that I'm sure you might have seen in your life, be it you or other people around you, is that kids always desire their parents to be proud of them, to encourage them, and to be alongside them. And one of the examples is that even if you or someone you know didn't have a great dad, didn't have a great mum, didn't have great parents, ones that maybe weren't very attentive, loving, they were a bit more conditional, they were a bit more maybe even emotionally manipulative. The kid in that dynamic, even if they're grown, they still desired their mum and dad to be proud of them, that they still seek that sometimes, especially if they haven't done the work to kind of heal those wounds. If they haven't done that work, they can still want to and try to seek that approval from them, to seek that pride that, oh, I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you, daughter. You've done a great job. Oh, I really enjoy what you did with this, that sort of thing, rather than going, oh, yeah, great, you finally did it, that sort of thing, where the way of communicating is definitely not something that builds them up, but they're still looking for it, even in their older age. And I have seen that in the past, and from those close to me and those not close to me, and speaking with friends, and it's that thing where it can be this conditional love that's been given to them, but the kids are still trying to meet that condition, even into their later years of life. And as a parent, it's really important that we don't teach them that we communicate with them what we need to communicate and show that regardless of what happens, even if they're doing something you don't love, that you love them, that you accept them, that you're proud of them, that you see them regardless of whether they're doing something you want them to do or not. It's so important that we don't muddy that water for them, to make it really clear with them that, hey, I'm proud of you because you're you. I love you because you're you. I may not love what you did here or over there or at this particular time, but I love you. That doesn't change. I don't have to like everything you've done, and you don't have to like everything I've done. But that love doesn't change. It's the unconditionality of a parent's love. There's a lot of other concepts here that I would love to go into more detail of, but I think that's going to be 3 or 4 episodes. So I'm not going to do that. But the core of this is your kids just want to make you proud, to not use that as leverage to get your way, to instead teach them that you love them regardless, that you are proud of them because they're them. You're responsible for your kids to grow up knowing that they're loved, that their parents love them regardless, that they know with certainty, mum and dad love me, mum and dad accept me. And that's a really important thing to do, because again, we don't have to love everything they've done or do, but we have to love them because they're our kids, and we can't use any conditionality in that. We can't say, I'll love you more if you do this. I'll love you less if you do that. That's a horrible lesson to teach your kids. You can't do that. And just see if there's anything in your life where you're doing that, we have to uproot that. We can't keep that there. That's a very damaging way to act and to be with our kids. We can't do that. So this is a quick one today. Your kids just want to make you proud. Use that responsibility to teach them what love is. Use that responsibility to teach them that you love them regardless. And maybe see in your life where that applies to. Is that something that you're still seeking from your parents? Is that something you need to communicate? Is that something that you need to heal and work on? Because we've all got stuff we can work on. We can all be better. We can all grow. We can all heal old wounds and strengthen ourselves internally, emotionally, in every part of life. We can do that. We're capable of that. And if that's something you want to do, I would very much recommend that. Thanks for listening. If you want to stay updated, subscribe to the YouTube and the podcast on Spotify, Apple, anywhere else you can find it. And if you need any counseling or coaching, message me or hit me up on my website. All the best. Take care.